Most people say they want to be happy, but what if that isn't true? What if deep down, you're not actually trying to be happy? You're trying to be safe, trying to be someone, trying to stay in control. Ram Dass once said, "The game is not about becoming somebody, it's about becoming nobody." And that's where most people flinch. Because real happiness, the kind that doesn't depend on anything, requires letting go of all the things you thought you needed. Your goals, your achievements, even your identity. That's the real reason you're not happy. Not because life is hard, not because you're not there yet, but because you've unknowingly built a system that keeps happiness just out of reach. So let's look at that system. There are two kinds of happiness. Conditional happiness is what most people chase. It says, I'll be happy if things go my way. If I get the job, if my partner treats me right, if I have enough money, if my body looks the way I want it to, if I check off everything on today's to-do list. And for a moment, maybe it works. You get what you want, you feel good. But almost immediately, the high fades. A new condition appears. The mind whispers, now what? That's because conditional happiness is always bargaining. It says you can feel peace, but only after you earn it. Unconditional happiness is different. It doesn't need a reason. It says, I choose to be at peace, right now, even if nothing changes. That doesn't mean you don't take action, or that you don't care. It just means your peace isn't held hostage by the world behaving the way you want. But here's the catch. To live in that kind of happiness, you'd have to be okay even when you lose your job, someone insults you, your plans fall apart, you don't feel productive, you feel pain, you feel lost, you fail. Are you willing to be okay, even then? That's what scares us, not the idea of happiness, but the idea of happiness without our usual scaffolding. Because without all those things we chase, who are we? Ram Dass would say, the ego is always looking for what's next, but the soul is already home. And we don't trust that. So we build elaborate strategies, motivational systems, rules. Most of us were trained in a system of candy and stick. If we do the right thing, we get candy. If we mess up, we get the stick. Study hard, you're good. Skip a workout, you're bad. Hit your revenue goals, you deserve to feel proud. Fall behind, you better beat yourself up. It's how we keep ourselves moving, with pressure, shame, guilt, and the occasional dopamine hit. And for a while, it works, until it doesn't, because this whole structure guarantees suffering. Even when you win, you're still trapped. You're always either not enough yet, or about to lose what you earned. Here's the deeper truth. Most people don't know what to do with themselves when they're happy. You've spent so long chasing success, love, security, that when you get still, when you stop trying, when there's nothing left to fix, you feel lost. And so you don't let yourself be happy. You unconsciously say, no, I can't yet. I still need to prove myself. But what are you really trying to prove? Ram Dass once said, the heart surrenders everything to the moment. The mind judges and holds back. Your suffering is not coming from reality. It's coming from the list in your mind. Ask yourself, what are the rules I've created for my own happiness? I'll be happy when I make 6 figures. I'll be happy when I'm in love. I'll be happy when I stop procrastinating. I'll be happy when I become more spiritual. I'll be happy when I finally feel like I'm enough. Who told you that? Where did those rules come from? Your family, school, religion, Instagram. And why do you believe them? If you really trace the roots of those rules, you'll realize they're just inherited ideas. Bundles of fear, control and longing. Not truth. You can spend your whole life trying to perfect the list, but happiness doesn't live on the list. It begins the moment you question the list itself. Letting go of your rules is terrifying, not because they're working, but because without them, you don't know who you are anymore. You say, I'm the kind of person who always works hard. I'm the kind of person who takes care of my family. I'm the kind of person who pushes through discomfort. I'm the kind of person who doesn't quit. And maybe those traits have helped you survive. But here's the trap. When your identity becomes more important than your peace, you'll sabotage your own joy just to maintain the image. You'll say, well, if I stop grinding, I'll fall behind. If I stop stressing, I'll lose my edge. If I stop pushing, who even am I? But ask yourself, is being a hard worker worth more to me than being happy? Because that's the choice most people are making. Unconsciously, daily, willing to trade joy for identity. Ram Dass would remind you, we're all just walking each other home. And you don't need to be anyone special to get there. Your attachments aren't just to people or things, they're to ideas of who you think you need to be. And if happiness threatens that image, you'll unconsciously reject it, because letting go feels like dying. In a way it is. The ego interprets peace as death. Stillness feels like failure. Not chasing something feels like giving up. But that's only true when you believe your value comes from the chase. Let's try something uncomfortable. Picture this. You're locked in a small black box. No windows, no entertainment, no phone, no books, no noise, no contact with another human. There's a toilet. You're fed once a day. There's just enough air to breathe. And that's it. Forever. Could you still be happy? Really sit with that. What comes up for you? Panic, boredom, terror, despair? Most people would call this torture. But why? What if the only thing that's really missing is distraction? Ram Dass once joked, we're all just living in boxes inside boxes. The only difference is whether you know it. The black box isn't the problem. Your mind is. It's screaming, this is wrong. This isn't how life is supposed to be. I can't feel joy here. But what if that's just another rule? What if you've never truly met yourself without stimulation, without ambition, without identity, without a mirror? What if the silence isn't empty? It's full. This is the test of self-actualization. Not how productive you are, not how aligned your goals are, not how much impact you're making. The real test is, can I stay present and at peace, even in a void? Most people would rather die than sit alone in their own consciousness. That's not a cliche, that's a crisis. But there's good news in that too, because it shows you exactly where the work is. The goal isn't to end up in a box. The goal is to realize you were never trapped to begin with. Which brings us to the root fear most people won't admit. Death. Not just physical death, but ego death, status death, purpose death. The death of who you think you are. You build your life around staying alive, not just biologically, but psychologically. Ram Dass said, death is a process of transformation, a continuation of life in a different form. But we treat it like the end, so we cling, we hoard, we control. We keep building and chasing and acquiring as if one more goal will protect us from the unknown. But nothing will. And when you realize that, not intellectually, but experientially, a strange peace sets in. Because when death stops being your enemy, you don't need the world to cooperate anymore. You're not clinging to validation. You're not terrified of failure. You're not trying to prove you matter. You're just here, present, breathing, alive. Not because you earned it, not because you followed the rules, but because this moment is enough. That's the real liberation. Not escaping death, but becoming free from needing to run from it. So what does it actually feel like to let go? To not need anything, not even the things you love? Not because you're numb, not because you don't care, but because you've realized joy doesn't come from them. It comes through you. Ram Dass used to say, treat everyone you meet like God in drag. That includes yourself. That includes your cravings. That includes your suffering. Because when you see life clearly, even simple moments become sacred. But not if you're clinging. Let's say you love ice cream. One day you finally let yourself have some. You're on the couch, spoon in hand, and it's perfect. The flavour, the texture, the cold bite. Every spoonful feels like bliss. But something starts to happen. With every bite, the tub empties. And with that, a small tension creeps in. You're still enjoying it, but you're also dreading the last scoop. You're holding joy in one hand and anxiety in the other. And right there, even while you're enjoying it, you're suffering. Not because anything bad is happening, but because you're afraid of it ending. That's how most people live their entire lives, gripping the moment, trying to stretch it, control it, make it last. But joy doesn't last when it's possessed. It lasts when it's appreciated. You can feel that, can't you? There's a difference between love and dependency, between experience and addiction, between presence and control. Non-attachment doesn't mean apathy. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care more deeply, without fear. You eat the ice cream and smile at the last bite. You feel love without needing it to look a certain way. You build a business without needing it to prove your worth. You walk through life with open hands instead of clenched fists. And ironically, when you stop needing everything, you can finally enjoy anything. This is what Ram Dass meant by becoming nobody. You're not carrying the weight of being someone. You don't need to be impressive, productive, admired, or right. You're just here, fully. There's no resistance, there's no bargaining with the moment. There's no waiting for a better version of now. And when that happens, every experience becomes sacred. Not because of what it is, but because of how you're meeting it. That's what unconditional happiness really is. It's not a feeling you force, it's a space you open. You stop saying, I'll be happy when, I'll be okay if, I'll feel peace as soon as, and instead you whisper, this, right here, is enough. Even if you're tired, even if you're uncertain, even if the world is messy and incomplete, you stop resisting life. You stop trying to be in control, and you start noticing the small moments again. The texture of breath, the flicker of light, the softness of being. So here's the question worth sitting with. What if I didn't need anything to be okay? Not as a thought, as a practice. Try it next time you feel craving arise. Next time you find yourself saying, I need this to feel better. Pause, breathe, let go. Watch what happens. That's the real freedom. Ram Dass taught that everything in your life is the curriculum. Every frustration, every desire, every loss, every joy, all of it is a doorway back to yourself. So don't run from it. Don't chase it. Don't judge it. Just stay, watch, listen, and feel what happens when you stop trying to fix the moment. And instead, let it be enough. The truth is, you've never been separate from peace. You've just been negotiating with it. You've told it, I'll come back to you after I get this one thing. I'll return when I've proven myself. I'll feel you once I'm worthy. But peace never left. It's been waiting, always here, beneath the noise, behind the striving, yours, the moment you stop chasing. So take your time. Let your old motivation structures fall apart. Let your identity unravel a little. Let your mind panic and scream and question everything. And watch as something quieter, softer, and infinitely more real starts to take its place. This is the beginning of your return, not to something new, but to something ancient inside you. The part of you that never needed a reason to be whole. You don't need to do anything to earn that. Just be here. That's enough. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to support the channel, make more content on self-discovery. And if you're looking to learn more about yourself, check out the FAFO Journal app. The link will be in the description.